Hey! Hayley Ross, how are you?
Hello. Yeah, I'm all right, thank you. Not too bad.
Good,
So
good, good.
hanging in there. What about you?
Hayley, welcome to the Afghan. Welcome to Goth Kitchen as well.
Thank you.
My kitchen in sunny Southend, but it hasn't been sunny today at all though. It's been grey and misty, foggy all day.
Yeah. It's
Which
not
is
a bit
pretty.
miserable, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's November. That's what happens.
Yeah.
Hayley Ross, singer-songwriter extraordinaire is what I wrote down.
No pressure.
No pressure at all. So, Hayley, before we start, where are you? How are you? And what have you been doing today?
I am in Brighton in my front room, having a little cheeky gin because it's Wednesday after all.
Yep.
And how am I? I'm all right. I'm hanging in there. Yeah, it's just a bit weird at the moment, but it is for everyone, isn't it? So, and I've been recording vocals today, which has been good, for a collaboration with a Swedish girl. So,
Ooh.
Yeah, which is just keeping busy, you know. So, yeah.
Because you're allowed, you can work it. You've been in the studio today doing that.
Well, I've been working from home, so we do a lot of recording at home. So This is literally the same position as where I record. It's just my little table in my little front room. And so just here. All the guitars are just up there on the wall. And yeah, so.
It sounds wonderful. So, so we'll talk shortly about your fabulous album that came out this year, The Weight of Hope, and your new release that came out on Monday.
That's right, Monday.
With that fabulous little video you made.
Just a little
Video. But I want to start, if you don't mind, I want to take you right back to where all this all started for you.
Okay.
Your love of music and your passion for music. At what point did you think this was something you wanted to do?
Always wanted to do it. I probably wrote my first song when I was about 8. Crappy little sort of love song. I can even remember it, but I'm not singing it. You don't want to hear it. And used to record that sort of on my dad's tape deck and that sort of thing. You know, when you used to put the sellotape over the cassette.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You could record and show my age for sure. And but yeah, so I've always wanted to do it. First guitar when I was 13. Looked at it for a year, thinking, what the fuck am I going to do with that? And yeah, are we going too far back?
No. It's good. It's good.
Yeah, and you know, and sort of dabbled, taught myself. Kind of always used guitar for a vehicle for singing because that's really like my first love, really, just sort of singing. And sort of in and out of bands. In and out of bands, and then eventually. Yeah, because it's been over such a long time. There's been so much sort of happen. I've had sort of studios, been in sort of various outfits, and I think it was after my son was born, and he was about 3, and he sort of went to preschool and then to school. I sort of got serious about it, really. I always avoided, like the plague, playing to a click. It was like my worst nightmare. I couldn't do it, and I certainly couldn't record myself. I mean, we had desks and things like that, but it just sort of went over my head. And then I just started on like a little Boss digital recorder, and just started recording myself because I literally had from sort of 9 o'clock till 2:30, and sometimes I was doing a cleaning job in that time as well. But I was like, right, I'm just gonna put it out, you know, put as much down as I can, and learn technology. And over the time, that sort of went from GarageBand into Logic, and then I sent some stuff off to a little label here in Brighton, who I met through my next door neighbour, who's actually my bassist now.
Okay.
Yeah, and it sort of went from there, really. It was just sent them something. I was just hoping to get something on a TV ad or something, I don't know. And they actually wanted to sign me as an artist. So they were sort of the first people I sent anything off to. And
Going back to, you mentioned you were in bands before.
Yeah.
What sort, as a singer?
singer and guitarist. Yeah, one as a singer. So, and then I sort of just got a bit, that band sort of split. I didn't feel like I was having as much creative input as I wanted to. So yeah, that band sort of split, and that's what then I sort of moved to Deptford and got the studio in an old gin distillery. Sort of soundproofed all the room, and then started playing my own stuff with a drummer. So it was like a 2-piece for a while. Just started.
How different was the stuff you were doing with the band to what you're doing now?
The first one I said sort of creatively quite different. Quite a lot different really. So now I sort of
What were they called? What were the band called?
Oh no.
Did you record with them?
Oh God, dodgy territory here. Yes, it
don't
did.
tell me.
Don't
tell me.
Yeah, I did, but it was quite different. I think I was into quite a bit of drum and bass and psychedelia, and
really.
But it wasn't drum and bass, but it's sort of based around that sort of grooves, but also a lot of I was listening to a lot of gong as well. You know, sort of like
we've all been through that era.
Yeah, I used to love gong, and then I tried to listen to it a couple of days ago. I was like, what? I can't just not on, you know, but yeah, so so quite different. There was just what it was is there was a lot of different influences, and I was always sort of into like people like sort of Suzanne Vega, but also like Kim Deal in a massive way, and you know, they sort of like heavy guitar driven sort of things, and I wanted to go more down that route. So the 2-piece was a bit more like that. I'd say the stuff that I'm doing more now is more sort of songwritery sort of based, bit more perhaps melodic, and that was a little bit more perhaps experimental, but I still got that side that I'm still sort of playing with as well, you know. So
so the Gong remix album will be one day.
Yeah. I might put the nail in the coffin for that.
When you mentioned Suzanne Vega, but who were the other artists you were listening to thinking that's what I want to do?
That's probably Kim Deal, really. You know, I really liked Tracy Chapman as well, but I mean, that like the singer-songwritery stuff.
Yeah.
But I like so much stuff. I went through a massive Jimi Hendrix phase. I mean, there's no danger of me ever becoming Jimi Hendrix on the guitar. You know, more's the pity. But there we go. But yeah, just like so much different stuff. You know, it's impossible to sort of.
I think it's the best. It's always the best way to be. I think no. I think there's nothing cool about being a music snob. At all, I don't think. And just if you like it, you like it. Yeah. It's funny because that brings me on to how I first heard about you, because I do this thing on the Afghan called Kinky Linky. So right. we just choose 10 tracks, any 10 tracks, and you tell people why you like the song and you drop the YouTube track on it. And I put this out to loads of Afghan members, and over 100 people now have just sent me their Kinky Linkies, and they go on it. And I did one once, and I put on, I think it was Mama Mama by Melanie.
Yeah,
that track, and it was your cousin Dylan that popped up and said, "I love Melanie," and we used to listen to Melanie when I was a kid with my cousin Hayley. Hayley's also a singer-songwriter. You might like it, and he sent me the link to Tumble Down.
Oh.
And it was boom, just absolutely. From the second I heard it, it was absolutely what I wanted, totally.
Thank you.
And I get, because Dylan said there was, because of you, he said you listened to that a lot as a kid, and I think I can hear those influences in your vocal style.
Okay.
Maybe not. I don't know. I mean, Melanie grew up listening to Joan Baez, and that's all her voice was. She said just her version of that. Yeah. And
that's my parents' era. You know, so I grew up with a hell of a lot of music in the house. Like my dad. Again, you know, my mum and dad were polar opposites with music, so maybe that's where it all comes in. You know, it's like my dad's massive Dylan fan, massive Bob Dylan fan, and you know, and Stones, Beatles. I mean, yeah, just so much Bowie, like so much stuff. And mum was more into sort of soul, you know, and so yeah, it's sort of all comes through, I think. But Dylan, my lovely cousin. He's a fantastic poet as
He
well,
is.
isn't he?
We had him on stage last year. We had an Afghan Christmas party, and we had a few bands booked, and we had Dylan up on stage for about 10 minutes, giving us some of his punk poetry, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
What a fabulous talent he is. He's a lovely guy.
Yeah, and you know, just thank you, Dylan, for for doing that.
You.
So,
absolutely. So you mentioned the first song you wrote when you were 8. How or what? When did you start writing the stuff that you were confident enough to let people hear?
Yeah, that's a long journey. That is a long. I guess probably around in my 20s when I was playing in bands and playing in pubs and stuff like that. You know, it's all original stuff. I didn't do like covery stuff.
Okay.
Nothing wrong with that though. But yeah, I just thought, and maybe I wasn't even comfortable with it then. I think as I've got older and as I've had like complete control over it, I'm just a control freak. I just thought, well, I remember a point just going, I'm just not going to apologise for this anymore. I'm not going to apologise for it. I'm not going to apologise for myself. I'm not going to, even though I say sorry a lot, but I'm not going to apologise for what I write. It's just going to be out there. You can, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. Different strokes, different folks, all that.
Yeah.
You know, and it's, so it's that is a really, God, I haven't thought about that sort of thing for a long time. And it's lovely now to just not even think about that and just put it out and just go, it's out, it's been born. It's almost nothing to do with me anymore.
Some of these songs that appeared on the album this year when it finally arrived, have they been with you a long time?
Yes. Yeah. Some of them like 5-6 years.
Okay.
And they've taken different shape and evolved. And that's kind of grown with me also, learning more technology and knowing where I want to go. So yeah, some of them, I mean, I've got notebooks, you know, and from when my son was a baby, and like there might be one line in there that's actually on the album now, and he's 13. Okay. You know, so yeah, it's been a long, and then some just came out of nowhere, you know. So yeah.
So when were you confident? When did you pluck up the courage and were confident enough to go and stand on the stage on your own with a guitar and sing for the first time?
God, when was that?
Was that nerve-wracking?
It still is.
Really?
Yeah, massively. Fine line between fear and excitement. I'm more on the fear side.
You hide it very well. Then does it? Like most people, does it disappear when you're halfway through that first song?
Yes. It's like a swan, isn't it? Like sort of like and fiercely sort of paddling underneath. Especially when you're getting a lovely warm reception and it's going well. You know, if you feel you can't hang on to it, if you make a mistake, you know, you just have to go, let the moment go, and that's gone, move on. Yeah, you know. So, but I still get very nervous.
Do you remember your first gig then? Where was that? Your first solo gig?
It was probably like an open mic somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah. Probably. I can't even think about that. Isn't that terrible?
So what sort of stuff would you have played on those early sets? Some of the stuff that's appeared on the album, or old songs that you don't?
Oh no, it would have been like if it was like an open mic, it would have definitely been a Tracy Chapman or something, okay. You know, because that's what that's how I taught myself. It was those books. It's a Suzanne Vega book and a Tracy Chapman book. Didn't have bloody ultimate guitar where you can look up everything now and sounding bitter, you know. But
the internet, YouTube makes it quite convenient for everyone now.
Didn't have the internet when I learned, so it was like just learning out of bloody books. So yeah, it would have been something like that. But in the two-piece, we played a lot around Deptford and like southeast London, and that was all like original stuff. But I don't think there's anything that I play from that now. Maybe not actually. I think maybe. Why
didn't you want to form a full band? Was it always did you always want that two-piece, or did you ever consider?
Roll freak.
Was it really?
Yeah. No, I I think because I'd been in a band, and it was only like I think there was only like just 3 of us mainly, and then there was a 4th. Well, it was 4 of us, and then it went down to 3. And yeah, I just wanted to do that, really. I just wanted to simplify. Yeah.
Your first release was 2015.
Yeah.
Fierce Love EP.
Yeah.
How long after those early performances was that?
Yeah, a while.
Was it?
Yeah, because I had my, so yeah, and I did the sort of band around 2004. I got pregnant in 2006, so I had a little break.
Okay.
I wasn't doing the mum thing, and still doing the mum thing, but you know, but able to have time to do this thing as well. So yeah, that was so quite a while. But in that time, like I said, I had my son. We were living in London. Wanted to get out of London just because it was too much. Just you know, and I think the recession was hitting and everything like that. So we went off to Spain and France, and because I had more support, like with childcare and things like that, I bought a guitar out in Spain and sort of kind of rekindled that. And that's some of the words have come back, were written over there. Actually.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So yeah, now I'm remembering. So you have to dig a little bit. But yeah, and so we were there for a little while, and it was again just sort of giving me the space just to play and sing in front of people. And then when we came back, we lived in Hastings for a while, and that was it. I started busking because I was skint. I was really skint. I used to busk in this little foot tunnel, and I think the best money I made, I was there for about 2 hours, and I came hour and a half, 2 hours, and I came away with 75 quid, and I was like, that'll do.
Boom.
Yeah.
That's a good hourly wage.
Yeah, it's like Milky Bars were on me. So I think busking really helped me with that as well, you know, with getting up in front of people. And
that must be more nervous standing in the street to passers-by than getting on stage to people that want to come and see you.
Yeah. You know, I think the drive need for money was, you know, it was like that was more apparent. So you know, that was more at the forefront. But really good experience. But sometimes, you know, I remember someone saying to me, "Oh, don't spend that on beer," and I'm like, I'm a performer. I'm not a, you know. I said, actually, I'm going to buy my son some corduroys with this. You know, it wasn't that bad. You know, like we weren't. Yeah. You know, we weren't like totally destitute, but it was difficult coming back. It'd been a recession, and it was difficult coming back and moving to a new town. So we just wanted to live by the sea, and you know, and that's what we did. So
Fierce Love came out in 2015. Was it? Why did you decide to record then and that song?
That was the first song I sent to the guys at the label, and that was the demo that I sent them as well. That was the first one that came out on the EP. That was just recorded at home in about 10 minutes. Sort of wrote it, right, let's get it down. So it's like got all the sort of little fluffs in it, you know, it's sort of got a few little mistakes, which I'm a bit gutted that we re-recorded it for the album, because I prefer the original, like all the, you know, it's just got a little bit more.
We'll wait for the box set in a few years, and it'll be on there.
Yeah.
So this is Barracuda was the next release.
Yeah.
And then this is now appearing on Barracuda Records. So this is the label you sent it to.
Yes, it is, and they named it after my song. The label.
How good is that?
Yeah. So that was very nice. But they're you know, primarily they work a lot with TV placement, so putting music into, you know, into film and all this sort of thing. And they were looking to sort of bring up an artist. That's what they wanted to do. So, you know, amazingly, I'm the only one on their label, so I do get a lot of attention, which is great. You know, they've been incredible, and so yeah, that's sort of how that's worked out. But yeah. So
talking about that, obviously the album comes out 2019. There were 4 singles released building up to that album during 2019. The album arrived in 2020.
Yeah.
One of those singles, Tumble Down, in July of 2019 appeared in Orange is the New Black.
Yeah.
Which was, I mean, I thought, okay, I'm going to look that up, and that was episode 1 of the last season of that show, and it was. I think it's so far it's been watched by 71 million people.
It's crazy.
And then there's your song in it, and it's a huge episode as well, because it's all about. I think you ever watched the show, but it's all about Piper getting back to reality, and back to normality, and all of a sudden she's trying to sort her head out in her flat or her brother's flat, and there's time down.
I know. I was amazed because the place, I've never had anything that long on.
Yeah.
You know, I was
it's a good chunk of the song as well.
Yeah, I know. That was amazing. I wasn't expecting that, because I've had stuff where it's just played in the background. You wouldn't, you know, blink and you miss it, you know. But still, it's still great. And had something on the blacklist, and that was a size. I thought that was pretty good. It was a sizable chunk, but that I was like, wow. And it's been amazing, because I've had a lot of people contact me over that song, so it's been great. Like, people seem to like quite connected with the track, and you know, that means so much to me. It's just it's crazy to think something that you've just, like, I don't know, farted about with here, you know, and developed it.
That came from the guys at the label. You said that's what they do. Is that how it ended up on that show?
Yeah, I've got a guy in the States, a sync agent, and he's great. He's just sort of gets those placements, and because I seriously don't know how you do it now, really. Like, there's so much out there, and I just think it's a really good way for someone like me, like with my music as well, to get a bit of exposure, as to, you know.
It was a lot of exposure.
Yeah.
it's like Netflix's second most ever watched show after Stranger Things. So it's
bloody hell.
Yeah.
Right, I'm after the Stranger Things job now. Get me synth out.
Do it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'd like
to. Weight of Hope was due to be released 2019. Did it get put back?
It did. Yeah. And
that was clever.
Yeah, I know.
So it gets released in February, and then we all go into lockdown in March.
I know. Yeah, it was gutting. I put it back because I want to bring it down, but my mum got sick, and she got ill, and I sadly lost her in December. But I managed to dedicate the whole album to her, and she saw that, and you know, so that was just that was lovely because she was always very, very proud of, you know, me doing music. And and so it got put back and released it in February, and then I saw you at a gig, did a couple of gigs, and then, you know, see ya.
Then we're here.
Career, bye live scene, you know. So
how did you choose that track listing for that album? Did you know when you what song was going to go on there?
Yeah, I definitely knew where I wanted a few tracks, but then I just had it all laid out on strips of paper, and like sort of, you know, oh, that one there and that one there, and then I just asked John Leckie for some help.
Okay.
Because he's done a bit.
He's done a bit. Yeah, I was looking through his history the other day as well. He was even working with Pink Floyd on "Wish You Were Here" and stuff. His list of people he's worked with is just endless. So yeah, absolutely. Ask someone like that for advice for sure.
Yeah, I thought, and he was just incredible. I just thought, you know, when you've worked so closely on these songs for such a long time as well, it's like you just need someone else's ears and different perspective on it. So
do you co-produce the album with him?
I co-produced the album with Martin Barker.
Okay.
And Leckie mixed it. So yeah, but I co-produced with Martin. He's wonderful. I started working with him, obviously right at the beginning, and just went in. And the first thing that we did together was moving all around, because I've been playing around with something at home, and he sort of put on it's called a Hecko. It's like a big bit of copper with like these springs on it. It's like natural reverb, and he just whacks it, and it sort of gave it this sort of like sort of cowboy sound to it, you know. And so we sort of went from there. But he's just absolutely brilliant. I couldn't have done any of it without him. Right hand man. He's just, he'll go with any idea, and there's no ego in it for him. He's worked with so many people. And he just wants to do what's best for the project, and you know, he's just lovely. Yeah, he's a lovely guy.
when you must have played those songs a lot, from writing them to going in the studio and recording them. Did you have in your head, there must have been certain ways in your head that you thought that song is and this is how it sounds? So the input someone else gave you when they heard it must have been fabulous. Absolutely.
Yeah, it was, really, really good. Like, always mostly have a very clear idea of what I want to do. And then Martin will pull out, something like that. And I go, oh, here's a psaltery. I'm like, I've never seen one of those in my life. Let's have a go at it. Playing it, it's like this bowed thing. And, so it was just like an Aladdin's cave. He's just... There's a lot
of sounds on that album.
I know. Kitchen sink.
Like a lot of sounds, yeah. So you play guitar, you play bass. You've got quite a collection of string instruments.
Yeah, apparently there's 16 floating around. And it's a tiny flat. It's tiny. And I'm moving onto a boat, so God knows what I'm going to do with all of this stuff.
You are? Yeah, I read you were moving onto a boat. I think you posted a picture online of you and your dirty wellies getting stuck in and getting sorted out. What is it? I have to talk about it. The sea. I think the theme of the water and the sea runs from the second that album starts right until the end. Almost every track, there's something in it. Yeah. That's where does that come from? Why so much?
Just, as a kid, like my mum and dad would call me a water baby. If we were on holiday or boat, I was just in it. I just loved it. I've never been fearful of it. And where I was growing up, there was like bugger all to do apart from hang around in a multi-story car park, get up to no good, or go to the swimming pool. So
that's what you did.
Yeah. So I just, I just love being in the water. I just love it. I just feel really, when I get in the sea, without sounding too hippie, I just feel really connected. I'm not a cold water swimmer. I'd like to do that, but still haven't plucked up the courage for that. It's still pretty cold in the summer, but it's just, if I'm feeling a bit muddled in the head or whatever, walk by the sea. That's it. You got it sorted, and that's why I wanted to move to the sea out of. And I grew up by the river, so there's always been water, sort of around that nature, and so it's.
And this is why you want to go and move on a boat.
Yeah, that and really expensive rent. So I just thought simplicity again, like with I say that, I mean we've been restoring it for like 4 or 5 years now, about 4 years, but it's just, it's crazy. I haven't bought a house, I rent, and I'm a musician, for God's sake. But we actually bought the boat in Bristol, and my partner sailed it round, and it's like a big 45-foot trawler. So he's done a great job on that, and now converting it to a houseboat. So with the engine still in, so when my son leaves school, if we want to go off somewhere, we can. So yeah.
Fabulous. Fishing? You do fishing?
I've never fished.
Wow.
I've gutted a fish once, but I've never fished. But I do need to give that a go.
If you can live on a boat on the sea, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That'd be fabulous. Yeah. So let me. So the album comes out. There's no tour, obviously. What were your plans for this year?
Well,
to just promote that album, obviously.
Yeah, and I haven't got a booking agent, and I haven't got a manager. And so I've been self-managing, just sort of trying to get by as best you can. So I was hoping, because I got some footage from the Green Note, the gig that you did, which is really decent. So I was hoping to try and snare myself a booking agent, but obviously there's no point in doing that at the moment. But we played, we did a show in Brighton, and then we did a show in Oxford, and then there was all the rumblings of I think 19 people didn't come to that. It was still a good show. There's, still a decent audience there. And it was like, people aren't coming because of COVID. And then, that was it. So, but I had a few more. I had like Betsy Trotwood booked. I was what's that, Black Deer Festival. I wasn't confirmed for it or anything, but a friend of mine was putting me forward for it. So I was sort of hoping for some opportunities they would have just happened, or want to,
Because I think the London date was early March, first week of March. It was.
Yeah.
And that was That was the last gig I went to this year. I thought
Crazy, isn't it?
I had lots of. I can't. How many months ago now? That's like 9-10 months ago now. 9 months ago, and that's the last. And I'm someone that normally goes to a gig every week just because I need it. I just need to go out and see live music. So yeah, it's horrible. It's a horrible situation.
I don't know if anyone could ever imagine. It's like my partner's a tour manager and a stage manager, and it's just gone. You know, so it's not easy.
It will be back. It will be back. It's a human thing to want to go and do it, but it's the not knowing. It's for everyone. Just for me as a punter, as a fan, and you as an artist and stuff. It's just horrible.
Yeah, it's really tough.
Horrible.
It's tough. So just trying to sort of create other opportunities and in the meantime, and it's just hard, isn't it?
Another thing that happened this year, you released some dance remixes of Come Back. Enjoy remixes.
Certainly did.
My face when I first heard them, I'm not gonna lie, it was a face of confusion. I didn't know whether this was the best thing I'd heard or quite terrible. I've grown to love them, to be fair.
Yeah,
I really have, because they're really cleverly done.
Yeah.
Where did that come from? Whose idea was that?
Well, I should tell you. That was it more so from my label. I'm very resistant about remixes. I had a remix done by Mertz, which Lauren Laverne played on Barracuda, and so that sort of opened me up to the idea of having remixes. So I was like, no, I'm not doing that at all. And so my label, it's kind of a strategic thing, really, if I'm honest, because it's sort of just trying someone, to get a different angle on it that perhaps wouldn't reach a certain market. So it sounds very businessy and a bit dry, doesn't it? But it was a challenge for me. I won't lie, it's definitely a challenge. But I'm glad it happened. So it's like, just got to try and learn to let go a little bit.
They're a lot of fun. I mean, this is Enjoy as well, so this is proper boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, isn't it?
It does work well, though. I'd say it took a bit of time to get used to, I'm not going to lie, but it does work well. And it's strange now, because if I go onto Spotify and just press play on Hayley Ross, you forget that the third or fourth track on that list is some Enjoy remix, and it sounds like Spotify's chose me something completely different to listen to. But it's quite fun. Yeah,
it was crazy when that came out. I think it got picked up on some sort of playlist.
Okay.
Because suddenly it was in a week it had 30,000 plays.
Wow.
And I think that's right. But yeah, I was just watching it, and I was like, there's got to be some mistake here. I think as well, because it did get played on BBC Six, so I don't know. I mean, but that hasn't happened for the other ones. So I keep knocking on the door of BBC Six. It's just I'm not being ungrateful. God, it's amazing, and she's been really supportive and lovely, and but it's just you get that one little play, and it's like, oh, lovely, and then it's like, oh, that's
you need it on that playlist. You need to find a radio plugger to get them on that playlist.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. So no tour this year. You did 2 live shows from your front room.
Yeah. First one I really enjoyed. Second one I felt a bit weird. And again, I'm not trying to. I think I just lost my dad, like in the April, and so I was like, I just need to do something positive. I need to do something. So maybe I wasn't quite ready to be. I mean, it's just stupid. I know it's only in my front room, but still, you've got to be in that space. And also, it is kind of weird doing the Facebook things, because again, I'm not very good with the technology. I can't see the comments but I really enjoyed the first one, and now I'm thinking I might do something else. So.
Have you recently done the album playback? Did you?
Yes.
This has been recorded.
Yeah. We managed to get a really good crew together for that, because obviously no one's working, everyone's out of work, scratching around, and so we managed to get this brilliant top crew. Guy Joel did filming, and Jack. Everyone was started with J. Jack, me, John, Joe, Josh, but they all So we pulled them all together, and we filmed this thing at the tail end of October. Initially, we wanted to invite people to come down, and then that sodding rule of 6 came in again. So yeah, we didn't do that. But
so this is the whole album from start to finish.
Yeah, yeah. I managed to get Joss on the piano, who played on "Lay Me Down," and that's the first time I sort of done that live, and that was a really nice moment to sort of actually just put the guitar down and just sort of sing. And yeah, so
I think it's my highlight of the album. My highlight of the album changes quite regularly. I'm not going to lie to you. But I think "Lay Me Down" is probably the one that just boom, just gets me every time.
Oh, thank you.
It's such a fabulous song. Do you remember writing that? Yes,
I do. And it's the only. I'll tell you the story.
Please
do. I was in the Caribbean, because very, very luckily we've got family out there, so they're gorgeous. They just sort of say, come out and spend some time with us. So
nice.
Yeah, so it's been lovely for my son Gil. He sort of goes out there, and I always take a guitar and just sitting there and having a play and whatnot, fiddling around with something. And they told me a story about these two quite famous, it's a very famous rum company, and it's two brothers that started it with this, they said orchard, is that right? Was it sugarcane? I don't know.
Sugarcane.
Anyway, sugarcane. And but yeah, these two brothers, and they fell out. I mean, they made a fortune, but they fell out. And when one died, the other one wouldn't pay for the lead to weigh him down for a burial at sea. And it was just sort of like, I was just thinking about, well, burials at sea. And sort of, yeah, just started playing around with it. And then actually, I was doing some other stuff with a girl here, Ailee, in Brighton, very talented pianist and songwriter. And I sort of took it to her, and because that's a co-write, it's the only co-write, and she sort of, because with the piano, she sort of, it was just, she made me thinking about an arrangement that I wouldn't usually think about, and also sort of layering up the vocals to use the vocals like an instrument in themselves, rather than, so it was, she's taught me a lot actually, sort of about close harmonies and things like that. So that's sort of how that came about.
Beautiful, beautiful song though.
Oh, thank you.
It is, in every way.
Oh.
So we're going to get to see this playback, this album playback. You recorded. When can we see that?
I'm waiting on the audio at the moment.
Okay.
So
when it's bloody ready, Brian.
I hope so. It'll be ready soon. I hope it's before Christmas. So hopefully. So
this Monday, Moving All Around EP arrives on Monday. 2 new tracks.
Yes. Yeah.
Recently recorded, or stuff that was recorded when the album was done.
Yeah, around the time of the album. Just recorded around the time of the album. I just felt like they kind of didn't fit on the album. So, and I've always wanted to do something with them. So it's like, and I think Moving All Around and all these things, I think they work really sort of well sort of together.
Yeah.
And Hope I'm Wrong. It's just a, little stripped back acoustic number. So, so they were recorded a little while ago. It's quite good because now I've got all of the recordings that I've done around that time, they're out. And it kind of clears the decks for new stuff.
Yeah, what's to come.
Yeah.
Do you write continuously? You're always writing?
Yeah, pretty much. There's always something sort of bubbling away. And at the moment I'm sort of doing, like I said, I was starting to do this collaboration, and I'm doing a few other bits and pieces that might be for other people. So I'm not doing a huge amount of my own stuff, but that's okay. I'm saving it up, to just sort of.
I think in this situation we're in, I think as long as you're busy, keeping your mind ticking over, then that's what you've got to be thankful for. It must be quite frustrating then, because we're only like 4 months away from that album being like a year old.
I know.
And you're still yet to go and promote it. I've been talking to a lot of bands and stuff like that over these last 6 or 7 months on this, and they're all saying the same thing. They've got stuff out there that they're yet to go promote and push and do all those plans they wanted to do when they released their new album is still yet to happen. So if we're kind of sitting here in 6-7 months' time and next summer arrives, and we'll get the go ahead and the clear to go out and have fun and go into the live gigs again, will you pick up where you left off to go and promote the album? Yeah,
I've got to, really. You know, it's not really excuse me, you know, it's been out for bloody ages. It was sitting in the can for I think a year as well, almost. You know, which is just, don't know why. And so yeah, just got to just go out and promote it. So really, it's you know, what you can do.
You say that like it's a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all.
I've had these songs for 6 years now.
Yeah, some of them you sung a lot.
Yeah, but no, to give it to, you know, to do it justice, you know, I worked really hard on it, and it's so yeah, it needs an airing, you know. So I come to see you at the Blue Note in Camden with my friend Tony, and we walked out. We were a bit drunk, I'm not going to lie, but we walked out. By the end of it. We walked out, and I said to him, I need to go and do that again. I want to go and watch that again completely. And we were both like, yeah, we'll do it. Well, as soon as we can, we'll do it. And here we are. I know. And it's not happened yet. So, but it will. And it will. And yeah, and we'll bring loads of people with us this time as well. Oh, we'll brilliant! Yes, please. More the merrier.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't worry, Hayley. Thank you very much. I'm gonna move on to my quick fire round now, because I think we've spoken about you and your. Thank you very much for your history of Hayley Ross. And
thank you. I hope it was interesting.
Of course, it was interesting. Absolutely. Everyone gets Brian's quick fire round. 25 questions. It sounds a lot, but the idea is just to give me an answer straight away.
Oh, Christ, I'm a bit slow, but all right, let's have a go.
Fine, it's fine. So, first question, Hayley. Yeah. What's your favourite Hayley Ross song?
Kids Again.
Okay, interesting. Cats or dogs?
Cats.
What's the celebrity you'd most like to meet?
I've met Kim Deal, so I've done that one. Oh God. This is not quick.
People.
I've met you.
You met me, yeah.
Met you.
I'm no celebrity. Your favourite album of all time? Pick one.
God.
It's got to be red. What's the first one you thought of?
Oh, Velvet Underground.
Which one? Just the first one.
One with banana on it. I'm terrible with names.
Nico. It's yeah.
God. Jesus, that's how embarrassing. I can't.
No, that's fine. It's a glorious album. Absolutely. God. What's your favourite TV show? Ever?
The American Office at the moment.
Okay.
Whatever. Okay. Flowers.
What was that?
Flowers. It's a comedy written by Will Sharp, and I love the music on it. There's a guy, Arthur Sharp. Check him out.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, Flowers comedy, Channel 4 thing.
What's your favourite day of the week?
Wednesday.
Hey. Tea or coffee?
Tea.
Nice. Everyone says coffee. 60s, 70s, 80s or 90s? What was your favourite one?
60s, but I'm more present in the 90s. So.
What's the one song you'd wish you'd written?
Oh Christ, that's not fair. Can't do this quick.
You can.
Oh God, what's made the most money? No, I'm only joking. Venus and Furs.
Oh, an absolute classic.
Yeah.
What's your favourite fish?
What, to look at or to eat?
Whatever.
Barracuda.
Boom, boom. What would your superpower be, Hayley?
Oh, laser eyes.
Oh, what? Cool people.
Yeah. Don't look at me.
Well, the first one is give me a violent answer. Thank you very much for that. Yeah. What's your favourite film of all time?
This isn't quick again, is it? What have I watched 100 times over?
Everyone's got a film that's in loads.
It used to be Harold and Maude. I used to love that film.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Do that.
What's the instrument you'd most like to learn?
Piano. Terrible. I've got one.
There's just, yeah,
It's got the alphabet written on it.
Everyone gets his question. Oasis or Blur?
Oh, Blur.
Wrong answer. The right answer is Oasis, but we'll move on.
Is it? But I was a big Oasis fan, but now I'm more into Blur.
Noel Gallagher's a bit of a clever songwriter, that's why, see.
Yeah.
Who would be your dream support slot? If you could support anyone on tour, who would it be?
Kim Deal. The Breeders.
Who would play you in a film?
Oh, that Jessica Hines, you know, the girl out of Shaun of the Dead. Apparently, I get mistaken for quite a lot.
What's the top of your bucket list?
Oh, Northern Lights. I want to go and see the Northern Lights.
Oh, yeah, lovely.
That's what
I do feel sorry for the people that go all the way there and they don't see them.
I know.
That must be really annoying. That happens quite a lot, actually.
Months there.
Complete the sentence, Hayley. When I dance, I look...
Really ridiculous. But I think I look great.
Yeah, absolutely. Marmite, yes or no?
Yeah.
Well done, well done. What's the best Christmas present you had as a kid?
Well, I'm really thinking now. Jesus. Probably Cabbage Patch Doll.
Wow. Showing your age now.
I know. It was a corn silk kid. It was like one of the later ones.
Okay, fair enough. What is the strangest thing you've ever eaten?
What is the strangest thing I've ever eaten?
Yeah.
So, strangest thing? I don't know. I'm pretty boring, I think.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. That's terrible, isn't it? Strangest thing. This isn't quick. I'm sorry. Can't think.
Fine,
So
we'll move on. What is your favourite smell?
Favourite smell?
Mm-hmm.
Rose and geranium. Those sort of smells. They chill me out.
Good. Yeah. Chips or mash?
Oh, I like both. That's not fair.
Who's one?
Chips.
What posters did you have on your bedroom wall as a teenager?
Teenager.
Yeah.
Oh, teenager. I can do teenager.
Well, okay.
I had Michael J. Fox when I was really little. Back to the Future. But teenager. I was quite into Marilyn Monroe. Isn't that a bit weird?
No. That's a good picture. That's good. Okay.
Yeah, I was really into Marilyn Monroe.
Hayley Ross, your last question.
Yeah.
Describe yourself in 3 words.
Slow. I like to think I think I'm kind, hesitant, and definitely flawed.
We're all flawed.
Yeah.
It's a good thing to be. Hayley Ross, thank you very much for your time.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. And it's a massive privilege, and just all of this, your support, everyone of the AF gang. It's just, honestly, it means so much to me. It's just.
Thank you very much, and thank you very much for writing a wonderful one. Not one of the best albums I've just heard this year, but one of the best albums I've ever heard. It's just
Brian, thank you.
It's a marvellous piece of work, and I can't wait till next year when we can go out and all come and see you live. Thank you very much for your time. Have a lovely evening.
Yeah.
Have a lovely week, and I'm looking forward to the live stream when we get to see it.
Yeah,
the recorded one.
Oh,
we're going to wave now. We've got to wave now. So right. Ben, now he's finished. If he's still awake. Thank you very much. Bye. Bye.